I live every single day of my life in anticipation of his revelations. I meditate on his word day and night. My affinity for his service consumes me. I walk in strict alignment with his commands. I inconvenience my flesh through incessant fasting. I've crucified all passions and desires of flesh in me to the point where my former pleasures of flesh are no longer seen as things of delight, but rather as things of scorn. I cannot drink. I cannot smoke. I cannot fornicate. I cannot indulge in the ways of the world. I just can't do it. My whole being is consumed with serving Christ, being a light in this dark world, and plowing the soil with my tongue so that we can sow more seeds for the kingdom and harvest our brothers and sisters out there in the world who I pray will share in God's glory in just a few years to come. So this is why Christ has chosen to reveal the deepest secrets and mysteries in his word to me, because I love him dearly. I follow his commands. For it is written, oh, how I love your law. I meditate on it day and night, all day long. Your commands are always before me. They make me wiser than my enemies. I have more insight than my teachers, for I meditate on your statutes. I have more understanding than my elders, for I obey your precepts. I have kept my feet from every evil path, so I may obey your word. I have not departed from your laws, for you yourself have taught me. I have not, indulged in sins, because I do not want to condemn my soul. How sweet are your words to my taste, sweeter than honey to my mouth. I gain understanding from your precepts. Therefore, I hate every wrong path. Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light for my path. I have taken an oath and confirmed it that I will follow your righteous laws. That is what powers me. That is what enables me. That is what fuels me. That is what gives me. That is what tethers me to the channels of the heavens, to download all this information, to receive these visions and revelations and come disseminate it to you guys. So that is our story. This is my story. This is God's story. I'm sharing my story with you all so you can understand how I'm able to come here and say these things. It's God's story, the second chapter of his creation, in preparation for the third chapter where we reign with him and create a new world of beings. So, I feel like I just, let out a lot, and I hope, I put it in a format that people can understand, that we only have a few years left, and that is why I'm, fighting so hard to let people understand, let people know, and reveal these mysteries unto people through the grace of Christ, because the time is coming. I was saying yesterday how we've heard, the kingdom of heaven is at hand all our lives, before our time, since the time of Christ, and to realize that it's actually in our time is just something that is mind-blowing. And yeah, people can say, oh, they've been saying it since the time of Christ. And yes, even then, the kingdom of heaven was at hand, because you are in flesh, and flesh is expiring. You don't have guarantees that you're going to live a long, old life. And what is a long, old life? 80, 90, 100 years? What is that in comparison to eternity? Absolutely nothing. So the reason why most people can't handle life with patience and tolerance, it is because they are babies in spirit. They lack understanding. So imagine telling a hungry 6-month-old baby, just give me 10 minutes to prepare your food. That baby is going to cry every single second of those 10 minutes. The food you're preparing is for the baby, but they don't know no better. They're going to cry until you put it in their mouth. No understanding, because they're babies. They lack understanding. They're immature. But that same child who grow up to be 10 years old and you say, give me 10 minutes, okay? They say, okay, because now they have understanding. So that's why it's important to feed ourselves the word of God so we can be mature in spirit. Because many people are adults in body, but infants in spirit. Mature in age, but immature in spirit. That's why you can tell some people to fast and they complain, they contemplate, they count out the time. That's equivalent to a baby crying, because they can't understand and tolerate the hunger pains for a little while. Meanwhile, those who are mature in spirit can go a long time without food. Absolutely no food, because they have the mental acumen and the tolerance and discipline, they're matured in spirit so they can handle it. So please let me end this with a short story. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to please lock in and listen. I'm telling you a story about a spiritually mature person, a spiritually immature person, and a story that will help you understand this matrix that we're in, correlating it to life and the kingdom of heaven. So it's the story of two children, a boy and a girl, whose father said to them, I'm going to the farm to harvest some crops. Your mother will cook them when I get home. Now go off to school. Don't accept food from any strangers. Here are some peanuts. They should be enough to last you until you get home. And when you arrive home, you will have special meals of choice awaiting you. These children go off to school, the boy and the girl. And at some point, while they're on the playground, a nice, gentle stranger approaches them. She tells them it's her child's birthday and she has a lot to offer them from the party proceeds. Candy, cake, chocolate, rice, other enticing things. They're allowed to have whatever they want. The boy is excited to taste these things, but the girl reminds him, Father said don't accept anything from strangers. The boy takes another look at the kind stranger. She looks harmless, and he can't resist, so he proceeds to accept some of the food. The boy asks the stranger, how many can I eat? She responds with a warm smile, as many as you like. His sister tried to caution him again. Maybe don't eat so much, she said, because Father always tells us that just because we have an abundance of something doesn't mean we should indulge all at once. He doesn't listen. He was happy to have unlimited food and candy that he could eat however he wanted. So he went ahead and gorged himself. The little girl was hungry too. Her mouth was drooling. She watched her brother feasting on this food. She saw the enjoyment that he was soaking in, making faces, enjoying, relishing the moment. She knew her father wasn't there to see, but she had a level of respect for him, so she resisted. They soon head back home, and they arrive indeed to their favorite meals prepared. The father had kept his word. He had brought an abundant harvest, and the mother had prepared their favorite food. And guess what? They actually threw the boy and the girl a surprise party. So they had cake, candy, juice, chocolate, all sorts of things, better than what the stranger had offered them on the playground. The girl felt so good because she obeyed her father, delighting in the fact that her father and mother kept the promise and even went the extra mile to throw them a party. She was so excited. She was happy. It felt good to, make the right decisions. She sits down with her brother to enjoy this amazing feast. But before they could eat, right before they could eat, the boy starts coughing uncontrollably. He coughs and coughs, louder and louder. And as he coughs along, he starts throwing up some of the candy that he ate on the playground. The mother looked and saw that he had disobeyed the father. The father looked in disappointment at his son throwing up all this food that he accepted from the stranger. They tried to save him, but to no avail. He threw up everything and he died right there. It appears that the stranger had poisoned the food, and anyone who ate from it met the same fate. What a shame. That nice-looking stranger was evil. But if the boy had been obedient, he would have been alive to eat the nice meal that was waiting for him. The sister was alive due to her obedience. She didn't succumb to temptation of the stranger. She honored her father by refusing to eat what he forbade, and it saved her life. But the brother lost his life. Now everything that belonged to both of them belonged to just her. And that's the order of things in this world. Our Father has sent us out into this world and given us commands that we must obey. Yet day after day, so many of us on this playground accept the enticing foods offered to us by the stranger, enjoying the very things forbidden by our Father. Satan is that kind-looking stranger that offers us candy and everything here on earth. The love of money, power, lust, fornication, adultery, partying, lies, homosexuality, sodomy, pornography, masturbation, theft, and so on. The things that excite and delight the flesh. Those are all the things that our Father has clearly commanded us to avoid. Yet Satan, that nice stranger, says, do as thou wilt. And sinners are that boy that couldn't take their eyes off the poisonous things offered by the wicked stranger. The sole mission of the stranger is to kill and destroy. Yet people reach out their hands every day to accept goodies from him. The righteous are like that one little girl, that little girl. We see those things and we shut our eyes to it all. We don't see our Father looking at us, but we respect him and treat it as though he is right there at all times. And in the end, we'll be alive to enjoy 1,000,000,000 times more than what the unrighteous are enjoying here on earth. And the moment our rewards are tabled before us, they perish. They are thrown into eternal fire forever and ever. We'll be at the banquet of Christ in heaven, drinking wine with him. At the Last Supper, he literally said, I will not drink this again until I drink it with you in the kingdom of heaven. So while we're saying cheers, the sinners are in tears. While we are celebrating, the sinners are suffering. Is it worth it to suffer for eternity, knowing that all you have to do is to just obey, trust, and believe in that promise? That's all you have to do.